Just taking a moment to breathe here. Slow nasal breaths. On the exhale, getting the body smaller. On the inhale, getting the body bigger. Inhale. I gotta say, exhale. There's a part of me that doesn't want. I don't want to. I'm nervous about talking about this. I felt like I wanted to listen to like 2 more things before I get on here. Like just in case I could get a different angle to add something to whatever's going on here. All right. Anyway, so here it is. What do you do with what's fragile? And what gives me the right to say, whatever I happen to be saying? Somebody, a Facebook friend. Marty, come here. Come. Okay, it's loud. Marty. So a Facebook friend of mine had wrote on Facebook that she just wrote the hashtag, stuff about Black Lives Matter, and she also wrote the hashtag white fragility. So I just asked, like, what are you supposed to do with if something's considered fragile? What are you supposed to do with it? If there's some topic or some person or something that's fragile, what are you supposed to do with it? And I don't know exactly. So she said that you should just admit. First, you should admit that you are that. And then second, you should. Hey, Irina, как дела? Ты говоришь по-русски, Irina? Probably. Anyways, she said that you should admit that you are that and try not to be that more. And then she said, I don't even know why you'd even ask this. So, admittedly, I admitted that I feel like I am that. I do feel like I am that sometimes, like fragile. Like especially when I hear like a word like that. You're fragile because you're white. I feel fragile, sort of. There's a part of me that feels like I don't even know what to do with that, So what you do with what is fragile is you're careful with it. You be careful with what seems fragile, and you strengthen it too. Or the word doesn't mean anything, So, anyways, the girl didn't write. She goes, I have to ask why you would even ask such a thing. And I was like, I do feel like I'm neuroatypical or something. So when like social forces come on and they come on strong and they come on fast, I can't get on with them. I got to do a lot of research before I even know what to do with it at all. And another question is, like, I've got so many stories that I haven't told y'all, but since the pandemic started, even way before the protest stuff started, I had been saying to everybody, spreading the news that there is a contagion happening. It's viral, and it's called Happy Pandemic. Enjoy. These might be our last memories, y'all. Let's make them good ones. Enjoy the pandemonium. Never forget. We're all going to die eventually. This is a good reminder. Don't worry, we will. We're going to die. It's okay, And I can't help but sort of try to spread this message and to say those types of things. Happy Pandemic, y'all. As I entered a store about a few months ago or something like that. What's up, Golden? How's it going, Mr. Swan? As I entered a store some months ago, I went to 4 different stores looking for a specific thing on the corner of a Bathurst and Bloor, basically. Hey, good day, everybody. Yeah, all the bodies, good day. But I was looking for something in these stores in the corner of Bathurst and Bloor here in Toronto, and the first store I entered, and it was kind of slightly busy, and I said, hey, everybody, happy pandemic. And everybody kind of looked at me weird, and this one person said, why happy pandemic? I said, because it's contagious. That's why you got the smile on you. And then everybody kind of laughed. I was like, look, they got it too. Oh my God, it's spreading. Watch out. Y'all are going to catch it. And everybody kind of laughed. And I was like, anyways, bro. And the cashier was up high. I was like, bro, do you have a... And I asked what he had. And he showed me it wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I went to the other store. And as on the way out, all the people were laughing. And I developed, friends and allies amongst a pretty big group of people. Even this one guy, I was like, even him, I could see a smile through his mask. That's so cool. So anyways, I had developed some friends and allies. And I went to maybe the 4th store. And the 4th store that I went to, just a convenience store, went in and said, hey, everybody, happy pandemic. It was just an Asian dude and a person of color talking to one another. Hey, everybody, happy pandemic. And I walked past him. I was like, hey, do you happen to have? And I asked him for what I was looking for. He showed me what it was. And I was like, I was going to go back to the previous store because they had what I wanted. So on the way out, the person of color, the black person, said to me, hey, can I ask you a question? Or, hey, what gives you the right to say that? And I was like, what gives me the right to say that? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, what are you referring to? I wasn't sure. And he said, well, what did you say when you came in? I said, I said happy pandemic. So he goes, yeah, what gives you the right to say that? And I was like, what gives me the right to say happy pandemic? I was like, I hadn't really thought about the question before, like, and then he was like, I went into like talking about fucking bullshit, basically, definitely is what he wanted to talk about. Like, you can go around and do that with your white skin while black people of color are serving you in the hospitals downtown. I was like, I haven't been in a hospital downtown, and I didn't say that, but I tried saying little things, and I was like, oh, he was, now you're gonna interrupt a black man, eh? And I was like, oh, you want to be heard, eh? You want to be heard? I was like, watch me listen, and I leaned up against the wall. I was like, go on, because you keep interrupting me. I said, go on. So he proceeded to say the same thing 3 or 4 times in a row, at least 4 times in a row. By the final time, I was like, I've heard this before. You keep saying it. I was like, I can hear it again if you want. He goes, you're gonna play that game now, are you? I was like, sure, like I can listen to you say the same thing. I was like, unless you have something new to say, you can say the same thing, I was like, I'm here to listen. So anyways, I had some friends that happened to come. I was about ready to leave, and the guy was telling me about how I shouldn't say happy pandemic because I'm white. And I was about to leave, and these allies that I made in the first store came in. I think they were like kind of like Mexicanish people or something like that. And they happened to come in, and I was like, hey, y'all know happy pandemic. They're like, oh yeah, we know. I was like, this guy, he thinks that it's something about color. You can't happy pandemic because of pigmentation. Maybe y'all could help him out. Happened to leave, picked up the thing, happened to walk past the store, and he happened to be in the entry. I was like, bro, hey, I gotta let you know, I'm sorry about that. Like that bullshit argumentation stuff. You know why that stuff happens? And he was like, oh, what? And I was like, happens for forgiveness, yo, forgiveness, man. I forgive you. I'm sorry too. I was intense. And that's why that bullshit miscommunication and argumentation happens. Is for forgiveness' sake. Forgiveness, brother, forgiveness. And he's like, have a good day. And I was like, that's what I'm saying, brother. Happy pandemic. Went out across the way, catty corner, ended up hanging out with some friends of mine that one guy's a musician on the street, sort of like, I don't know, I have no idea what his home situation is, but seems kind of homeless-ish, if you know what I mean, street person, good friend of mine. I buy him shit. Yeah, he says, hey, can you get me a ginger beer or something like that? I'm sure, man. What else? You want anything else? Sometimes depends. Sometimes I give him cash, Anyways, there's a bunch of friends over there on that corner, and we were just having a good time. And up came this friend of mine who I'd met and got in this argumentation with. I hated the argumentation part. I hated it. Felt so like shit, you know, like how's this gonna work? Stood up for myself and worked well. It worked really well standing up for myself. And then the fact that he came happened to be passing by when I was with these homies, and you know, one of them certainly like a very dark black person, and I had just been jamming with them and chatting with them and laughing with them, and I was like, oh, then he started walking up. I was like, bro, this is perfect. You know what this is for? This is what everything is for. It's for forgiveness. And the other guys were like, yeah, for forgiveness, yeah. And then I was like, happy pandemic. They're like, happy pandemic. really fun. And the guy was like, he like almost couldn't help it, like just walk with his head down. And the funny thing is he walked right past me. He pushed click on like a real fancy SUV and got into it. He had talked about privilege, you know, and then it's a real fancy SUV. And I was like near my bike, and you know, I love my bike. I do. I'm really happy that I don't have a fancy SUV right now, and I'm happy for him to have one. So I was like, yo, bro, you said privilege. Check it out. Like that's good, man. Keep it up. You got that privilege car. That's good. It's privilege to have a car. Good job, man. Anyways, what gives me the right to say stuff, you know? And what is this deal with fragile? If you call someone fragile because of their color, what are they supposed to do? What are you supposed to do with the fragile things? You're supposed to be careful with it, right? And also you're supposed to strengthen it, right? You know, and so in regards to this stuff, you know, like I just saw this video, and do you think you should be saw this video. Maybe you could look it up if you want, just to see, but don't feel obligated to. Oh yeah, enjoy dinner, William. Say hello to Kelsey and Mozart and any other friends around you. Anyways, you could look it up. This video, Macy's beatings. Guy gets beaten. The guy that's doing the beating is certainly a black person, or technically, definitely brown skin colored person, and the guy who's getting beaten isn't that. He's, I guess, at least not black. I think I heard he's white, basically. He's getting beaten. You know, he's getting beaten. Do you think that you should feel less bad about that because he's white? If you do, then ask yourself what you think racism is. If he were black, should you feel more righteous indignation? This small video that we see, we only see small segments of everything, or we don't see, however long the video is, we don't see what started it really or what ended it, or why it started. We don't see it. But if the person being beaten, if their color of their skin is dark, should you feel worse about it than when they're white? Should you? Should you? Why don't you answer? If you answer in any way in your heart that's like, yeah, you should feel worse if it's black, then check yourself, bro or sister. That's a little racism for you. It is, and or it's like prejudice based on pigmentation. And it's fucking retarded. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter where you come from. If you're too fragile, no matter how colorful your skin is or not, to hear that it's racist for a white guy to get beaten just as much as it is for a black guy to get beaten, then you're fragile, and you should strengthen yourself. Get some philosophy under your belt or something, So yeah, I think this is about ready to wrap it up. Lastly, I'll say that the second weekend of the protests, I went out the first weekend of the protests, and I had a great time actually. I thought the vibe was good. I was real glad that it didn't turn into a riot here in Toronto. We're lucky that it didn't. But it was certainly fertile for it to turn into that. And if there are people that seriously think that COVID is a serious problem and doesn't care about our sociology, and they also think that Black Lives Matter, or the lives of people matter in general, then why did they not beg us all to not go out? They should have. If there were those two people, they should have compassionately said, please, I understand. You feel it's important, but the disease doesn't care about your social things. The same way they said to the people who went out and they shamed them for going out to the park the weekend before the riots, or the 2 weekends before the riots. I don't remember what it was. They said, y'all are just going out for stupid reasons, and the virus don't care about your stupid reasons. So now then they go out for this, supposedly and definitely, the sentence to me is true. Black Lives Matter. I don't care who thinks what that sentence means. The organization of the people against it, the sentence means what it means, and it means something to me. It matters to me. The lives of black people matter to me. Your life matters to me. I don't care your color. Anyways, getting fierceness in here, yeah? So anyways, hey, Monica, good day. So, the first weekend I went out, and I felt it. Yeah, Black Lives Matter here. Black Lives Matter here. They matter to me. But not everything the organization says is right. It isn't. And it doesn't mean, everything the organization says doesn't mean that Black Lives Matter. In fact, some things that the organization says, or things that people think the organization means, or the word means, is against Black Lives Mattering. That's for sure. So anyways, the second week, the protests were going to happen, and in Toronto, they were really afraid of it turning into riots. So much so that they hired all the construction workers. I swear to God, you could see them. They were just covering down Bloor and down Yonge with wood all over the place. And we're blessed that it didn't really turn into much, definitely. But I saw a video in the morning in Toronto of cops putting rocks out on the side of the road in downtown during the day that people are afraid that there's going to be riots, and not answering the people who are videotaping them with much clarity or intelligence at all. Maybe the guy said, after the guy who was videotaping, the cops said, like, what are y'all doing putting these rocks on the side of the road? It was near Nathan Field Square, which is downtown. It was on the day that people were really afraid of them doing riots, and definitely they were doing it. The cop, he's, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So the cop said, well, the city's coming by to pick this up, and he's like, bullshit, it's not, and the cops didn't really have a very good PR statement for it. And the dude who was filming said, I'm going to help y'all. We're going to go throw those rocks away right now. And he went and threw them away so that there were no one available. If the cops really cared about that, why were they, I've never seen cops stacking rocks on a day, except for that day. I asked a bunch of cops about it. So as soon as I saw that, hey, Todd, what's up, bro? As soon as I saw that on Facebook, that day, there were cops stacking rocks downtown in Toronto the day that everybody was afraid there'd be riots. I was like, I got on the bike and I was like, I'm going to go to cops. I'm going to go talk to them and tell them they got a PR problem. So I saw these cops, they were holding up a four-way stop downtown, and 3 cops. There was no traffic around. I walked, come here, I need to talk to you. Come, I need to talk to you. Y'all have a PR problem. Have you seen this video? Y'all need to talk better, watch the video. I told them, and this one cop said, oh yeah, that's standard procedure. We do that all the time. I was like, no, you don't. That's not true. I've lived in Toronto for 8 years. I've never seen cops putting rocks on the side of the road. I'm not saying that it was ill will, but on a day like today, y'all better think of your statement. I don't want my city to get fucked up. So anyways, you could see the people who were just saying script stuff. Finally, I got to a cop who listened to me, and I was like, this is a serious issue. You should look up this video, and there should be a nice response to it. And the cop actually I felt listened to. So finally, I went away. Anyways, I went away from the cops. I was like, I don't know. I just have to. I have to go straight to the source. Like one dumb cop. There was just someone. I was like, you just won't listen. You're afraid to. He said that he was busy. I was like, there's nobody around here. You're not busy. Anyways, so I went to, after talking to all these cops, I went to Kensington Market, and I sat down next to a black young man, who saw me with my catalyst on, and sat right next to him. He's like, yo, bro, what's the cap for? He was a cool dude. I love this guy. We had such a good conversation. Intense. He comes from hard knocks, man. Showed me all of his wounds all over his body, knife stabs, shot wounds. Told me all the stories about all the shot wounds, and told me this, crazy stories about shot wounds, including something with, let's call him Bob, just because I don't want to put out his name, but crazy stuff with cops, stuff with. Just insane stuff, really, really, and I was just like, wow, tell me more. Oh, and how is it? Oh, that's crazy. So anyways, he told me, he said, I ain't about to say this Black Lives Matter shit. He's like, because he's like, I think definitely Black Lives Matter. My Black Life matters to me, and the lives of my Black brothers and sisters matter to me, but so do white lives matter to me, is what he said. And he goes, as long as this organization ain't going to ever call out when it happens to white people, I ain't going to be for it, because it happens to white people, and if you only call it out to black people, it's suspicious to me. That's what this gentleman said. A young black guy who'd been in altercations with cops and is a hood guy, man. Hood. And check this funny story out. I mean, it's not funny it wouldn't be funny for most of us. It's so normal for him. Such a cool guy. But he's from government housing area in Toronto, a government housing area that I didn't even know what it was named. And anybody I've ever asked didn't know its name. This is only people from the hood know what it's called. It's called PO, Project Original. It's the government housing south of Kensington Market. And he, anyways, was at the Regent Parks, the government housing over there. He's not supposed to be in that region because people know who he is. He's kind of popular amongst the hood people. He showed up. There was a shooting going on. 4 people had been shot. And he got shot next. The 5th person. The people who did the shooting went over to the people who got shot and were just telling him, "You better not," whatever. And they knew him. And they were his friend. They accidentally shot him actually. And this isn't funny, but it kind of is. They went up to him and they were like, "You better not." And they're like, "Oh shoot!" Again, I'm just making up a name, Bob. Let's call him Bob. That's definitely not his name. But they're like, "Oh Bob, dude, we didn't mean to shoot you." And they took him to the hospital, and I was like, "Wow, you still see these guys?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "How is it? Do they say like, "Oh, remember that time we shot you?" He's like, "Yeah, it's like that, man." I was like, "Wow." You know, another time he was in an altercation. Him and his buddies got in an altercation with a bunch of cops. Somehow they separated one of the cops out from the others, and they beat the hell out of this guy. He told me they did. They took video of it. He told me they did. And they told me that him and the cop actually, after he was let go for this, him and the cop actually like fist bump. And the guy said, "Yeah, I'm sorry about that." He's like, "You weren't necessarily in the wrong." I'm not going to tell you the video that they took, man. The guy just told me what he did, you know. And I was like, "Wow, interesting. Tell me more." Anyways, the point is, what's the point here? What do I care? Is there something I care about? I care about fragility of emotions, fragility of underdogs. I care about fragility of, I don't know, categories being dismissed or something like that, or used and getting played. There's a deep part of me that doesn't care in some way to make sure that white skin continues. And in some way, it's not maybe mine to say, but I don't really care either way. That certain types of pigment, doesn't matter what color it is, that it continues or not. I have no skin in the game. But for those of you or those of us that are whatever color we are, I care that you be not diminished for it. You know, I guess I'll say this is the last thing. This is a spiritual process here. This process is 3 steps. First, you know, I'm pissed about this. I saw this video. I got pissed about, obviously, all the videos that are violent. I hate that shit, man. So anyways, okay, before I tell the spiritual process, I'm reminded of another time I was at Chrissy Pitt's park, hanging out in the park, writing my journal. It suddenly started raining. We all gathered under, there's like a ceiling, like a roofed area, and a bunch of us gathered there, a bunch of homies and me. And I was just writing my journal, and a fight started amongst 2 people, and it became obvious that one of them was going to lose. One of them had lost, but his pride wouldn't allow him to stop saying stuff, and the guy who was above him was hitting him in the face with his elbow. He's like, "Say it one more time, I'll hit you." And the guy said it, boom. And I was like, "Hold on, stop." I was like, "That's enough, y'all, that's enough. Like, get off of him now, stop." And then all the homies were like, "Leave him be." There was like maybe like 20 or 25 of the homies there. They were like, "No, leave him be." And I was like, "Whatever, y'all are fucking retards. Like, y'all are defending, letting these people beat each other up. Wake up, y'all. Y'all should separate, and y'all shouldn't support this. Get out of here, you fucking idiots." I left. And I feel like that was a good use of the word fucking idiots. I wish those people well. I ain't got nothing against none of them. But letting a fight continue when somebody's trying to stop it, and I wasn't about to get all messed up in all their drama. I mean, I got a little bit messed up in it, but anyways, so the spiritual process, you know, we got all this fucking bullshit going on. But I'm actually here with Dog Marley in my backyard. Hey, Marley. See? Hey, Dog Marley. So pretty. Come here. So what's the process? First, ask yourself, is there a problem in the actuality of the vicinity of my reality? Formally, ask yourself this. Second, formally take some time to look around. Look over your shoulder, look over your other shoulder, and just notice. Is there a fire? Did somebody break their arm? Is there something I want to kind of clean up? You know, is there something that I could do? Well, if there's no problem, even if there's something that you kind of want to do, then just remember, don't forget, shrug your shoulders and say, all is well. First step, is there really a problem in the vicinity of my actual reality? Hey, Ashley and Carolyn, good day, y'all. Hello. Yeah, check it out. I'm happy for you to come back and check this out. So first step, ask yourself formally this question. Is there a problem in the vicinity of my actual reality? Second step, formally check it out. Look around you. Honestly, see. Oh, is there something I need to fix? Is there a fire? Did somebody break their arm? Is there a kid crying? Is there something I could clean up? And even if it's just something to fix or clean up, if it's not a fire or a broken arm, then there's no problem. And this is the final step. And you just formally shrug your shoulders, perhaps put your hand up and say, all is well. All is well. Presently, you know, despite whatever the fuck is on the media about Australia or about Iraq or Saddam Hussein or Je suis Smollett, supposedly whatever that was, you know, or whatever. All right, y'all. Hey, Carolyn, thank you for all the hearts. Thanks, everybody. You could ask that question to people. Hey, do you feel like you should be more upset if you see a black person being hurt than if you should see a white person being hurt? Or opposite. Do you feel like you should be more upset if you see a white person or a black person? You know, no matter what I think, all is well. That's what Carolyn has to say, and no matter what I think, all is well. No matter what I think. It reminds me of the saying, all things work together for your good. There are no exceptions except the ego's judgment. All things work together for your good. There are no exceptions except the ego's judgment. Keep that prayer in your hearts. Thank you for that addition, Carolyn. Ashley, Todd, Monica, Golden, Irina. Love you all. Good day. Ciao.